Can you describe what a founder that's stuck looks like and feels like?
I think a founder that's stuck feels like they're alone. Typically kind of really in their head, heart's kind of shut down, feels like maybe the walls are caving in a bit, kind of constantly just distracted, whether it's Slack messages, emails late at night, first thing in the morning, checking social media, feeling kind of in a constant state of like mini emergencies. 1 minute, it's not sure where your next lead's going to come from. Next minute, it's a sponsorship that's closed down. Next minute, it's someone quitting. And you constantly feel like you're going it alone. And there's a kind of an overall feeling of darkness and a general feeling like you're starting to lose hope a little bit and definitely questioning, like, is this really all actually worth it? And so, I think like in general, one word would be just like lonely, because also along the way, the founder I just described could be someone that's making $500K a month, right? So from the outside, everything looks amazing. Maybe half their friends are envious in some, small way. People would definitely not guess that this person's actually silently struggling, and all the while, like they're really not doing well. And so I think it's like also sometimes that dichotomy of, the combination of from the outside, everything looks amazing, and inside you're slowly dying, that makes it all that much more difficult. And not to mention there's like the pressure just keeps building, you may have people that rely on you. And there may be moments when things get really, really tough that when you look at the room of people around you that you've hired and maybe have an overhead of 150 or, 200K a month, that they don't even understand the real crisis at hand, right? Whatever that crisis may be. Maybe it's that the market's shifting. Maybe that it's, agents are taking over. Maybe it's that a social platform shifted or something got shut down, right? And you feel like, oh shit, you've got to burden that and you've got to buckle up. And so, I think it's that loneliness is like the main thing that it feels like.
How do founders even recognize that they're lonely or recognize that they're burned out or recognize that they're addicted to chaos?
One of my breaking points, like 8 years ago, I'd kind of been through a burnout cycle, gotten good, went through another one, and had a bit of like a mental breakdown in a hotel room here in LA, and called up my dad, was crying, didn't know what was going on. My brain just like felt like it was on fire. It'd been like days and days, honestly, a year even or so of stress at that point, and was really hitting like an absolute wall. Like it just felt like my brain was again on fire. And so my dad ended up booking an appointment for me. It's one of the nicest things that anyone's ever done, probably the nicest. And it was with a Dr. Aumann, a doctor here, and he specializes in brain health. And I went and had an MRI done, and it showed that I had like frontal lobe damage from 4 or 5 concussions playing hockey when I was younger. I hadn't really paid much attention to it. I knew I had gotten hit pretty hard. I didn't know the real repercussion of it. And I had also been using a bunch of substances too, which weren't helping the matter as well. And so I proceeded to then kind of take some treatments and go through some stuff. And it didn't seem to be working really. I had kind of sobered up more, and I was, being more healthy and all that, but something still felt kind of screwed up. And not like physically, it was more like mental health vibes. And I was talking to a doctor, say every few weeks. And on this third appointment, I was like, listen, man, like I'm really struggling here. Really struggling with purpose, struggling with vision. Like I really don't know what to do. And like, I'm done with this. Like I just can't do it anymore. And he's like, Matt, I'm going to say one thing to you. Okay. One thing you should do. I was like, all right, fucking hit me. He's like, get a coach. And I was like, get a coach? Like, what the heck? Like prior, he had been giving me vitamins to go get and GABA and vitamin D and have magnesium before bed. So I'm thinking like, what's the supplement? What do we got here? What do you got for this, And he's like, a coach. And so like most things, when I get advice, like I took it really seriously. And I was like, okay, this guy's a wise man. I'm going to get a coach. And so I started kind of trialing 3 different coaches. Figured I'd go for a month, give them all a little shot, do a couple sessions with each, and just see which one had good chemistry, a good fit, and like felt like they had that mix of like, there was a good soul connection and they kind of like understood who I was on a real level. And then also like they were looking to grow and, they understood like my desire to like build something impactful. And I ended up settling on someone named Ryan Begelman, who's still someone I work with today. It's been about 8 years. And Ryan's also become like one of my best friends. And Ryan is someone that really helped me sober up 7 years ago. He's really inspired me in a way to just like keep on being just like a better man. In a sense, he's like almost like an older brother that I never had. I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. I got 4 younger siblings, but now I got like a bit more of an older brother in him. And just like a good peer that you can like bounce ideas off of, joke around with, and also like stress test plans. And so my way really of working with him is like to, every time we have a meeting, I send him a bit of a memo before the meeting, just in terms of like my current thinking about life and business. He reads it before it, kind of collects his thinking. So he's coming in prepared. And then we have a good 90-minute deep dive. And that goes down around every 2-3 weeks. And so that's been just like a good rhythm to things. And so could then answer your question of like how do you handle this and all that? I think sometimes like people don't have that like rhythm with someone, that actually is invested like in their success, and they're probably even paying like something to, so that they really are like locked in. You can have a friend, or you can have a parent or a peer, but if it's, sometimes I find like, and what I learned up to that point is like, I thought I could just do it with like informal things. And that had worked to a point. But I think at some point you need that more rigorous attention, someone taking it more serious, someone that's willing to read memos every 2-3 weeks and not think you're crazy and kind of just do it because that's kind of the job. And someone that, even regardless of being paid or anything, just like genuinely is invested in your success, which is what I found with Ryan. So yeah, that was a really transformative moment in my career and life, and kind of a big inflection point for my health too.